Hi, in this video I'm going to be running through some training on how to use the Tasks app. Before we get stuck in, I'll just run through a quick overview of what we're about to go through. Firstly, we'll look at how to add tasks to tickets on the fly. Then we'll look at how you can save task lists for reuse. We'll look at some other core things about how the app works, that being kind of links, tags, activity logs, etc. We'll move then on to sub-tickets and then being able to automatically add either task lists or create sub-tickets from tickets based on conditions of your desire. We'll move on to admin settings and finally look at how you can leverage Zendesk with the information that the Tasks app automatically pushes through to invisible ticket fields and some global tags. So let's get stuck in. Now you'll see that the Tasks app exists on the right hand side of any ticket, and you'll also see, if you're an admin, the Tasks app exists on the left hand side here as well to go into your admin settings. We'll start off just by adding a few ad hoc tasks. So I'm going to say book meeting, document use cases, send estimate, create solution, and I'm just creating these tasks just by typing them out and pressing enter. And this is really good if you need to just create a bunch of tasks to do on this ticket on the fly, and then you can go through and check them off. Easy as that. But now, if these tasks that you're doing on this on a ticket are going to be needing to be repeated time and time again, then that's probably going to be an inefficient way of doing that. You may want to use what we call task list templates. So if I go to this other ticket, we've got a ticket that's requiring a site installation, and so you'll be able to access tasks, saved task list, by clicking this icon on the right hand side of the app, and from the menu you can see we've got a saved task list for site installations, and I click that and bang, I get the whole list added with the click of a finger. Now that's not to say you can't add more task lists to the bottom of this, or you can even add more tasks on the fly, or even just copy them from elsewhere like so into the list of things to do on the tasks as well, and then you can kind of go and check these off if you, as required. We've got a couple of extra features up here, one being edit mode, so you can kind of move these tasks around, or the order of the tasks. If you need to delete things quickly, you've got the trash can icon on the right hand side here. Once you're done editing, click done editing like so. Now if I click on, actually the other one that I wanted to show you was activity mode. So if I have a look at the activity, I can see everything that's taken place on the ticket in regards to tasks and who specifically did that item, whether that's completing, deleting, or adding a task. Okay, for individual tasks, you can see if I click this drop down menu here, there's a few things that you can do. The first one is mark as not doing. So say for example I didn't need to do a measure and quote in order for this site installation to take place. I can just select that there, and it's going to put a little cross next to it, as opposed to these checked items here that don't have the cross. Obviously you can delete tasks as well without going into edit mode, like that. I'll talk about the converting to new tickets or linking to tickets in a sec. I just want to highlight two more features before we get into that. One being the little eye here that you can see next to a few of these task list items. And what this eye is that when you create a task list, you have the option to add a link to a task, so that when somebody goes to complete it, and maybe you want to link to a knowledge base article which explains to the agent how they can go about completing that task. So here we have an article on how to assess and confirm an order, which is matched up with this task that needs to be completed. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that you can get going with the app is when you check a task off, like here we've just checked off collect organization address and contact information, you can specify for every single item or task list item, you can specify a different tag that's automatically going to be added to the ticket as a result of it being checked off. So if I have a look down here, we can see that contact details confirmed tag was just added to the ticket automatically when we checked this task off. And this can be really useful if you need to do, extra workflow after a specific task is completed. All you do is create a Zendesk trigger that says when a ticket is updated and contains tag XYZ, or in this case contact details confirmed, then perform the action that you're needing. Okay, so now on to sub-tickets. So sometimes you may need to have a different conversation with another requester that you don't want talking to your original requester, but the two things are related. So for instance, in this case, we might have an external contractor that we need to talk to go and do the site audit, but we don't want the contractor necessarily on the same conversation with the customer. So we'll go here and click on Convert to New Ticket. And then we can set the requester to be the site auditor. Let's have a look for auditor. We'll specify that and then say, hi Bruce, please go to site XYZ and perform a standard audit. Cool. And we'll submit that. Now, when we've created a sub-ticket, there will always be a link back to the parent ticket at the top right-hand side here. And vice versa, if we go to the parent ticket, we'll see that in a second it's going to automatically be updated with a link to the child ticket. Now, also note that this child ticket cannot just be checked off like these other tasks down here anymore. It's a ticket, so it's a different type of task. It actually, in order for it to be checked off, the ticket itself needs to be solved. So let's pretend that we've had this conversation. Bruce has gone out, he's performed the site audit, and we're happy, and we move this ticket to a solved. We'll go back to the parent ticket, and we'll be able to see that that task automatically gets checked off. Okay, so that's sub-tickets and how they work. Now let's jump back to the task lists and how to create task lists. And we'll do it in relation to the ticket that we were first working on here, that we put in a bunch of ad hoc tasks. Let's say that we don't want to have to do that every time. We want those to be able to be added nice and quickly. We can do that just by clicking on our tasks icon on the left hand side here, and at the bottom here we're going to click on Add Task Lists. We're going to call this one Consulting List, and then we'll click OK, and that's going to create the list, but there won't be any tasks in it yet, so we'll have to go into the list here and click on Add Task to add our first task. Here we'll be able to type out our tasks that are going to need to be checked off. And as I'm typing these tasks, I'm just pressing enter, and it's going to take me to the next task that I can type in. Note that there is also a few other things here, a few other controls around for each task. Here you can specify the tag that is going to be associated with this task at the point that it gets checked off. We can add a link here to an external article for any of our tasks. And finally, if we want to convert this task into automatically convert it into a sub-ticket, we can do that here, which I'll show you how to do in a sec. But we'll just complete this task list like so. And we'll create one more task. And then we'll finish that. Now, this could be our task list here. So now that this task list exists, if we go to any ticket and refresh the apps pane to load that in, we'll be able to see it as part of the list, like so. But let's just say we don't actually want to have to manually add this list. We want it to be automatically added. This is the next step. So if we come back to the task list that we've been working on down here, we can set it to be automatically added simply by clicking on the edit icon at the top here and then turning on automatic like so. And when we do that, what will happen is the Tasks app will automatically create a Zendesk target that we can fire using your triggers or your automations. So let's go and create a trigger that's going to do this for us. So we're going to go to our admin here. In our triggers, we'll click on Add Trigger. Actually, before we create a trigger, we'll probably have to refresh the screen as well, so that'll load in the data from the target that's just been created. by the Tasks app. So we can now name our trigger. So we'll call this one auto add consulting task list. And then we'll put out our conditions for when we want this list to be added. So we can say when the ticket is updated and tags contains at least one of the following consulting list. That'll be a good one. And then under actions, we can set the target to be fired. So notify target, and then we'll look for the consulting list that we've just created and set to be automatic, which is now within this list of targets, like so. We'll get rid of this so that it can actually be created, and so that the trigger doesn't fire every time the ticket is updated, we'll also remove the consulting list tag. Now, you don't have to kind of create your rule around tags. This is just an easy way for me to demonstrate how this feature works. You can do it based on when the ticket is created and a specific form is set. You could do it under any conditions that you can think of. So I'm just going to decide to remove this tag and finish by creating. So now we can automatically add this list to this ticket simply by adding the tag consulting list, like so. Now I'm going to remove these existing tasks on the ticket, and so you can see the task list automatically get added the other way. I'm going to submit this as open. We'll be able to see as a result of the consulting list tag being on the ticket, the task list automatically got added, and the trigger that we just created also removed that tag, so it won't try and add it a second time. Cool. Okay, so that's how you can automatically add a task list or manually add the task list to the ticket. The final part of kind of this automatic side of things is being able to automatically turn one of these tasks into a sub-ticket. So let's come back to our task list admin center here, and we'll see how this can be done. So if I click on consulting list here, and let's just say in order to create the solution, we need a different sub-ticket to exist. No problems. Okay, we can go in here and we can actually specify that a sub-ticket automatically gets created simply by putting in an open and closing squiggly bracket. But if we want to define details about that, we can do that using some JSON, and you've got details on what that JSON should look like by clicking more info. So there's a bunch of examples in this article here, including another video that explains how it can happen. But if we want, we can just copy a kind of an example flow here and paste that in here, and then we can rename it to, you know, create solution. We'll probably need to just remove the tags because we don't need that, and then we can set the body to say something like please create solution for this customer, and then update that. So now once we've updated that, we'll be able to see that the create solution item has a ticket next to it, indicating that a ticket is now going to be created as soon as this is added to a ticket. So if we go and add this task list to a different ticket, and this time we'll just do it manually, we'll be able to see that that happens. So down here, I'm going to choose consulting list here. We've got our 4 tasks automatically added to this ticket now, and the create solution item is automatically going away and having a ticket created for it, which has now kind of resolved itself, and we can see that it's now 1390 as the ticket, and we can see that the subject line and the description has already been preset based on the input that we put into the data field before. So yeah, so that covers the automatic side of things. Now, the last kind of side of things that I wanted to cover is how to leverage Zendesk with the data that the Tasks app is pushing into invisible ticket fields, and indeed tags that global tags that it pushes to the ticket as well. So a good way of showing how that is useful is if we've got, let's say this is a ticket that we're working on and we want to communicate back to the customer what tasks still need to be completed. You could use a macro, for example. We've got a macro here to say, okay, tell the customer what the remaining tasks are. And here we have a macro that says, right now you have 7 of the 16 tasks that need to be done before this ticket can be marked as solved, and here's a list of all the tasks that still need to be completed. You may wonder, where is this information coming from? Well, like I said, there's invisible ticket fields that the Task app is storing this information on this ticket. We can see those fields by clicking on the events log of a ticket. And so we can see number of tasks is 16, so we can see that that is the case. And the number of completed tasks is 7, and the remaining tasks are these items. So how do we get access to these fields? Well, we can get access to them using Zendesk placeholders, and those placeholders are actually listed out nicely. If I click on the task item here and click on settings, you can see these placeholders listed out here that you can copy and paste into your macros, which are going to dynamically pull that information into your ticket. So in this case, we've been using task completed count, tasks remaining, and the tasks count to communicate to the customer. Okay, so that's a kind of cool thing, and you know, you can use this information also in your views. Say for example you wanted to build a view of tickets with tasks on them. Here we have a view that's pulling that information from those fields as well, or from the remaining tasks field at least, and listing those out. So how do we build that view? Well, this is where the global tags come in. So if we have a look at how the Tasks app tags tickets from a timeline perspective, so at some point tasks will be added to the ticket, and at that point the Tasks app will automatically tag the ticket with 2 tags, tasks remain and task present. Now at some point thereon in the future, all the tasks should be at a point where they're all marked off. Now at that point, once they're all marked off, the tasks remain tag will automatically be removed and the tasks done tag will automatically be added to the ticket. Now if you were to add more tasks after that, then the tasks done tag would be removed and the task remain tag would be put back on, all automatically. But all the while, when there's tasks present on the ticket, the task present tag will always exist on the ticket. So based on that information, you can actually build Zendesk views to display tickets that contain the task present tag or the tasks remain tag. And in this case, we've built a view that is just showing tickets where the tags contain task remain, and then listing out the remaining tasks as a column in the view. So yeah, that's pretty much how the Tasks app works, and there's quite a bit of information there probably to digest. If you do have any questions or you have any feedback, please let us know by emailing us at support@sweethawk.co. Thanks for watching.